Good. How's yours? How's your new one?
Oh my goodness gracious. Coolest, most special thing I've ever been a part of. One, I can't be able to start this without saying, my wife, absolute superstar. Unbelievable how she handled it. Unbelievable thought process through the entire thing. I was just there cheering her on and making sure I was there for support, but she did the whole thing. And then being able to have it to where 3 months in, he giggled for the first time the other day. She was like, we threw the touchdown in the national championship game. It starts to be able to put things in perspective about being able to make sure that the first thing that you have to be able to look at is these young men, is they're young men, they're not football players. And being able to make sure that we can be able to surround them with love and care and really uplift them to be able to make sure that they know that, and then we can get them to be able to be great football players too.
How are you handling that, having to be down here and you have a new one?
Well, the best thing about it is that I was born and raised in a football family. I've been in football for 36 years. My wife has done an unbelievable job of being able to ask my mom a lot of information. She knew going into this situation where I needed to be. So for me personally, I allowed her and the baby to go to the East Coast. They're with their parents, and she said, you need to be immersed with your football team, and you need to be able to make sure that you're taking care of what you need to there. We're going to be fine where we're at. But I'll tell you what, we've been wearing out the FaceTime so far.
Yeah, last baby question for you. I'm sorry, the name and how old now?
Okay, so Santino Michael Sunseri Jr. We're calling him Sonny like the Godfather, and he's 3 months old. So it just seemed to be able to fit.
How's FaceTime going?
Oh, it's been great. Right now, he's kind of giving me that look like, hey, I know your voice, but who are you right here? So it's been great.
How are things with Nico and just getting him up to speed on everything?
He's been great. I'll tell you what, the thing about Nico is that he's a self-driven person. He has a certain standard of how he wants to be able to operate each day. And the great thing about my past is I've been around a lot of guys that have this same kind of feel and thought process. So the only thing you got to do with these guys is you got to be able to give them the information, and you got to keep being able to stimulate them to be able to make sure that every single day there's something that they're being able to attack and chase. And there's not one day that he hasn't come in here that he's not focused on being able to become the best player that he can be for UCLA. That's the number one thing. It's all about we and team.
And we know about his arm. Is there anything else that maybe stands out about him early?
His mindset, his mental disposition, how he can think, how he can process, how he goes about being able to make sure that whenever he's outside the room, he's studying, it's infectious to him. He can't get enough of it. And when you have those kind of guys, you can start to be able to see how they can be able to develop, and now you can start to be able to formulate mindset and starting to be able to see where they think, how they think, and start to be able to have it to where you can really understand how to coach them.
When did you get him the playbook, and where would you say his grasping of it is right now?
Well, what we did is we played totally by the rules in the entire thing. We waited for him to be able to make sure, based on compliance, that he was going to be able to make sure that he'd be able to then start being able to meet with me. Whenever he started to be able to meet with me, what people don't understand, my first job that I ever took at James Madison, I got hired late May because the Division I AA's got pushed. So I didn't get there till June. I had Cole Johnson for 2 months, and he went 41 and 4 and 48 touchdowns overall. It's not about how much time that you have with these guys. It's about how you utilize the time based on what they're able to think and do. So the biggest thing that we have to be able to do is make sure that we can adhesively make sure that we're surrounding him with what he needs to be able to do to make sure that he's able to consistently learn. And it's not about us being able to install the offense. It's about being able to make sure that it's not too much too fast to where he can be able to grasp it, because we're not playing next week. We're playing in 3 weeks. It's still a ton of time for us to be able to utilize.
How many first-year quarterbacks have you had? It's been quite a few, right?
So every single year that I've had the room, my own room, I've had a new quarterback, and I've had to train that guy every single year. So this is nothing new for me. My last 4 were all first-year guys with me that I only had for an amount of 2 months or 6 months.
And you touched upon some of it, but what are the keys to hitting the ground running with those guys? I mean, I think you've touched on some of that, but anything else?
I don't know if I can give you all the secrets, and then I'll give away my stuff. But no, it's about being able to make sure that you're giving those guys information. It's about being able to have it to where, as much as they're self-assessing themselves each day, you're self-assessing yourself as a coach. And being able to have it, did I articulate this the right way? Is he receiving the information? Because it's not about what I know. It's like I told you guys previously, it's what he knows and what he can apply. And so the biggest thing is making sure that you don't overload the computer and it shuts down. You want to make sure that you're consistently being able to give it data that he can be able to make sure that it's ready to be able to have it to give you the information you need when you need it.
Speaking of the playbook, what kind of offense are you bringing to UCLA without being too specific? Nice balance of pass and run.
Yes, sir.
And then how are the players adapting to that?
Well, the thing with us is that what I wanted to do in my career is I chased knowledge and wanted to be able to get around as many different coaches as I possibly could to be able to see what made them so special and being able to get to the chance that they were. And I wanted to be able to take what I felt like were the great things that every single coach did and kind of combine it into one offense. So when you're talking about what offense that we're going to be able to bring, it's everything. We're going to be able to make sure that we're going to be able to stretch the field vertically and horizontally to be able to make sure the defense guards every single blade of grass. But specifically to our system, you got to be able to make sure that it's conducive to your players. So our system adjusts to what our players can do. Our players don't have to adjust to our system.
Does that mean you're constantly evaluating them out here and then kind of making tweaks?
Yes, sir. Every single day to us is being able to make sure that our guys are understanding and putting them in the best scenarios to be able to have success. So after each day, you have to be able to, as a coach, be able to go in and to assess, did I put these guys in the best situation to have success? And did I allow myself to then be able to then self-assess and be able to change up to be allowed to be able to now fix the things maybe from the day prior?
I think two more questions. Jack Peterson, I think, called the offense elusive. Do you agree with that? And what does that mean? If so, what does that mean to you?
I think Jack is just talking about he lost a little bit of weight and he's starting to be able to get a little bit of twitch to him, right? And he's getting a little bit elusive, and that's what we want our guys to be able to do. We want them to be able to feel empowered in this offense. I'm not telling them what to do. I'm teaching them how to be able to handle situations. It's just like I told you guys prior. We can't win the game from the sideline anymore. These guys got to be able to go out there and be ready to function and think and allow themselves to be able to go play regardless of what's going on, because they know so much of what they're capable of being able to do.
Does John seem pretty excited about the running back room with Javion and Jalen being a kind of a 1-2 punch? Can you talk a little bit about them?
Well, whenever you have backs, and let me say it like this, we're going to be a physical football team. It's where I've always been raised. Coming from the SEC, you got to run that ball, and me being a Nick Saban disciple, that's just my thought process, right? So I think that when you have backs, the one thing that you're able to do, and when you have a couple of them, because it's not just those two, I mean, there's a bunch there, is that you don't wear out the tires. So whenever you have it to where you can be able to have a bunch of guys that are being able to split the carries, it allows those guys to be able to stay fresh. And as those defensive linemen are playing 40, 50, 60 snaps in the game and you get into the fourth quarter, those guys are a little worn out. So then whenever you put a guy in with fresh tires, then he can be able to have it to where he's running. Maybe he runs through a couple of those tackles. Maybe he's able to be able to continue to be able to play at a different speed than those guys in the game. So that's what we want to do. We want to be able to put our guys on the field, allow them to be able to play as fast as they can and as fresh as they can, and while building depth.
You got two other new quarterbacks in your room, Pierce Clarkson, McDannald, Iamaleava.
Yes, sir.
What stands out about those two this point?
Really good workers. Really good workers. They're guys that are smart. They understand the game. They can be able to take tough coaching and be able to have it to where they don't allow it to affect them. They're worried about the next play. They're constantly being able to try to figure out what they can be able to learn next. They're very driven guys. I've really enjoyed being able to have them in the room.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Be blessed.